Now, the first thing I want to say is I'm kind of sick and tired of just hearing everybody in the IWC talking about how like their channel or feel like that they have all the answers, and honestly, I just feel like all of it's bullshit to me. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's right, you know? I just personally feel like the IWC isn't right, you know? I'm just gonna come off the box and just say it. That's the only reason why I'm doing this channel. I'm not really doing this channel for really anything else. I'm specifically here to talk about pro wrestling. And I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to give my honest views and opinions about how I feel about it. But, you know, I rather do a quick video just so you guys can get to know why I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing YouTube because for the past, I don't know, 4 years now, I've been looking at wrestling reviewers, and it's always a game of he said, she said with all the reviewers, and it's always like their own personal opinions rather than having facts. So when they do have facts, those facts are flawed. To me at least. I just feel like the facts are kind of selective, you know, to back up their claims. That's how I see it. Now I'm not saying they're not entitled to their opinion. They're totally entitled to their opinion. I mean, and they can have their own facts to back it up too. But I'm just saying, like, ever since watching it, ever since watching, I don't know, just random reviewers. I won't say the names because I think you already know who I'm talking about. But you know, all these different reviewers in wrestling, I just feel like they just don't, like, they just don't get it. To me, you know, like, I'm not saying every single wrestling reviewer. Like, there's some who actually know who what the hell they're talking about, but like, you know what I mean? Just some people, a lot of them, I just don't feel like get it. Now, that's the prime reason why I'm doing this review channel. Because honestly, I'm just sick and tired of listening to reviewers and thinking that everything that they say is law and key. I'm here to review this for my own personal use, for my own self, for my point of view, from my point of view. And honestly, I'm the first video, I'm not going to really say too much wrestling related. I'm just going to give the reason why I'm decided to do this YouTube channel. And with that, I'm going to now give you a few of my thoughts about what I think pro wrestling should do. Now, number one, I honestly feel like the fans should really, instead of trying to kill pro wrestling, they should honestly try to build it up. Because honestly, like, we don't need any more wrestling fans constantly just tearing it down. And I get it. I get it. It's partially the McMahons, and it's partially a lot of people are saying how, oh, it's AEW, oh, it's WWE. Like, honestly, at this point, pro wrestling in general is a niche product, and I feel like people need to get over the fact that we're never going to go back to the Attitude Era, and we're never going to go back to, honestly, we're never going to go back to the heyday of wrestling. Those days are behind us. Maybe if pro wrestling fans realize that the Attitude Era is over, the Ruthless Aggression Era is over, CM Punk is no longer in WWE, John Cena is in Hollywood. What I'm saying is, accept the now. Accept the now. And honestly, I could care less if you people on the internet is like, oh well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh well, you don't know anything. You're just like everyone else. Shut up. Just shut up. Because it's like, it's literally like with you people, you guys want this stuff to stay. It's like you guys want pro wrestling to stay in this little bubble, and instead of expanding it, you guys want to actually destroy it. And it's like, instead of just using pro wrestling to destroy it, how about you guys actually use it to build it up? Because that's why I feel like what the fans is doing. It's not just the fans, but it's also too in the corporate. It's also in the pro wrestling corporate. It's also sometimes the wrestlers themselves, and there's wrestlers out here who truly do care for this business. But I just gotta be 100% honest. Like, really be 100% honest. Honestly, let me ask you an honest question. Are you guys honestly sick and tired of seeing the same bullshit that we see in pro wrestling? I know I am. And I'm not talking about I don't know what they do in the ring. I'm just talking about in general. Like, seeing the same modern day bullshit we always get. The reason why wrestling is dying is because, honestly, Vince McMahon, whether you like it or not, is the head of the snake. As long as he's the head of the snake running the chain, it will never be the same. As long as Vince McMahon is there, it will never be the same. We all know this. You know what I mean? And another thing I want to say about pro wrestling is that it's not AEW's fault. Honestly, it's not AEW's fault. Everyone likes to say how, oh, it's AEW's fault for why pro wrestling is trash, or oh, it's WWE's fault for why pro wrestling. I mean, a lot of those arguments are true. But honestly, at the end of the day, AEW is just trying to do them, if I'm being honest. They're not trying to do anybody else. They're just trying to do what is best for their business. You know what I mean? Yes, there has been times where they have entertained WWE and thrown shots at them time to time here and there. But honestly, everybody needs to stop acting like as if WWE didn't come out their mouths first. Because that's where I feel like why AEW is so angry. Tony Khan only probably said something a few months ago the way he did because they said something first. I'm just being honest. Like, y'all could kill me. I mean, please. I mean, I really rather have you not, but before y'all kill me on that and say, "Oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about," really, really process that. All AEW is trying to do is just build themselves up, and they've been doing that. I mean, yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, the company hasn't been great. They haven't been awesome in some ways, but ever since coming back, they've been making moves nobody else hasn't been making. They haven't really been making, what I mean? They haven't really been fucking up. Well, they have somewhat, but not in the ways you think. Another thing that I think in pro wrestling, if we really want to talk about this wrestling shit, I feel like what Cody Rhodes is doing is probably some of the best shit that he has ever done. Because see, I have a theory about that, and I can explain that in another video. You know what I mean? I can explain that in another video. But as of right now, y'all don't see what he's about to turn into. You know what I mean? I will say this, like, what Cody Rhodes is doing as of right now is actually brilliant, because honestly, this is leading up to his heel turn. And I'm just going to say this for now. When this heel turn happens, it's going to happen at the right time, right place, right circumstance. Everything must be perfect. And yes, I'm going to say, I feel like Cody Rhodes is a perfectionist like that when it comes down to professional wrestling. When this happens, when this heel turn happens, then everyone's going to be like, oh, that's what he's doing. And then you're, of course, you're gonna have the fakes that be like, "Oh, I already knew that he was doing that, but yet you never knew shit." Sit down. I personally feel like in AEW, when and another thing too, but you know what I mean. Another thing too, when Mark Henry said, okay, when Mark Henry said how he answered, he actually had a Q&A once, and he was saying to this in the review, the question, the journalist was telling him, "Oh, where do you see AEW in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, where do you think like all this will go? Like, where do you think all this will go?" And then he said, "It's already here." Like, the fuck, like he literally said that. He said, "Oh, he's already here." I personally feel like that. I personally feel like that automatically told us that, okay, I know what the hell's gonna happen. And I'm going to explain this in another video of why I think what is going where I personally see AEW heading in the next 5 years. That's what I see. But you know, I mean, today wasn't really nothing. I just wanted to get on here and just like post my videos, say what I wanted to say, you know? That's all I really came here to do. This is just really just a video that was just like very, you know, just off the knocker, off the head. I didn't really, you know, really plan this shit out. I tried doing it before. The shit doesn't work, but you know what I mean? I hope you guys have a nice day. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, I really hope you guys have a good day. So, with that, I'm going to leave you guys at that. And deuces.